So with winter approaching, going to take most of the radio equipment out of the shed. It's dry in there, but it just can get a little bit damp sometimes, you know, when if you get snow or a heavy frost. So anything I leave in the shed is really at its own risk. So those great 33 amp power supplies that I left in the shed, they're going to come out, but I still want to leave a radio in there just for the odd chance when I sort of nip outside and switch on a radio. Sometimes it's the only quiet place to go. So over the winter I thought I'll put some I'll put some cheap components out in the shed, basically maybe sacrifice a few things to keep the shed shack going. And the first thing is the power supply, and I bought another one of these very cheap China power supplies. The 233 amp ones I've got out there seems to be doing well, so this time we've gone just for a 16.7 amp at 12 volts, but you can turn these up to 13.8. so we're going to put that out there just to power a small rig, just so I can see what's about. But of course I can't just put that BEM case out there in the shed with the dampness, so I've got to put it into something to isolate it. And there we go. It's cheap as chips. Cheapest thing I could find actually that will give that some protection is just a Wilkinson's little cheap toolbox, which I think was £1. And although it's not 100% watertight, I wouldn't leave it out in the rain, but it will isolate the power supply, and sort of just, you know, if it does get a tiny bit moist out there, it will do the job. So we're going to knock up a little cheap enclosure. This by the way was, I think, £10, so we're about £11 into this project. And then I've got pieces of wire and cable that I've saved from things that I've salvaged, and a couple of an old switch and an old light. I might have a power meter somewhere. So yeah, we're going to knock something up, put it together, and something that I can leave out in the shed over in the winter. And if worse comes to worse and it all blows up and fuses out, well, I'm only going to risk about £11. But that's what we're looking up today. So it's the same as last time when I had one of these little PCUs. You've got a tiny little adjustment here you can just use to turn up the output voltage. There we go, and we're sticking with that on 13.8, and yeah, that's the job done. So all I've got to do now is get it in the case. So here it is, all finished. Took just over an hour just to make the toolbox power supply, and that's probably the little Macom EM27. I'll probably be running that. That's one I'm probably going to leave out here in the winter, just to keep an eye on what's going on the FM. But yeah, it didn't come out too bad. I mean, it's just you know, a question of keeping things safe. We've got the 230 amp DC outlets there, just stuck out the side, and a little voltmeter, just so I can keep an eye on the voltage. And yeah, there it all is inside. It's all stuck down, perfectly safe. And only thing I'm slightly worried about is maybe the heat. I don't know what this thing's going to kick out heat wise. It's on, I mean, that little CB probably draws about what, 2.5–3 amps. So hopefully that's not going to get sort of too hot. But I guess I can always just, you know, pop open the lid. It stays quite cool, to be honest, out here in the shed anyway, you know, in the winter. If heat does become a problem, I can probably fit a little PC cooling fan or something in there on 12 volts. But as for now, you know, it's insulated, it's safe, and yeah, I think it'll do. I think it'll just keep the little shed shack station open for the winter if I need to come and hide away. Okay, cheers, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that, and stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next one.